What up, family? CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above par. Never lasting, motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions that you asking. Serious talks and topics, how to come up and profit, how to better yourself. Your health is here, we got it. Reaching 350 million, they tuning in.
Hello, my name is Alethea Tucker, and I am the CEO of Jolie's Enterprises. I'm also the host of a show entitled Reinvent and Rise, and the host of a podcast entitled Leveling Up the Podcast with Alethea Tucker. I recently had the distinct pleasure of working with Tina Ramsey and CTR Media Network in one of her programs where she taught me how to get exposure for my podcast. She increased my visibility tremendously, and she showed me how to monetize both of my shows to make them revenue generating products. I am so ecstatic and so happy with the service that she and her staff provided to me. She went above and beyond what I expected, and I certainly got far more than I ever dreamed I would get with her. So I highly recommend her for any of her programs. I highly recommend her as someone to go to if you are looking to increase what you do with your podcast, make it better. If you're looking to get visibility, definitely speak with her. You will not go wrong with her or anyone on her staff.
Well, hello and welcome to Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. I am Sandy Sanders. I'm your host and creator of the Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy platform. We are here yet again on another amazing night. This is a special episode. It is a part 2 of a 2-night interview special that we are doing with our return author guest, none other than Dr. Tashina Reeder, along with the contributing authors of the amazing book that is soon to be released. And so we are super excited to have her with us again on this evening, as well as the contributing authors that will be joining us in our conversation on Book Talks with Sandy. So listen, this is what I need you to do. We're just getting kicked off, and what I'd like to do, we're going to play our intro one more time, and then we will be bringing these amazing ladies back on. We have a new set of authors that are on. If you joined us on last night, go ahead and start tagging some ladies, tag some friends, family. Let them know that, yes, Dr. Reeder is on with us again tonight, and we will be talking about her amazing book that is soon to be released. And we are super excited to have her with us again on tonight. So if you will, go ahead and share it out. We'll be right back. As many of you know, that we are powered by CTR Media Network. Yes, where we are heard in over 350 viewers worldwide, as well as 100 countries globally. We are 100 plus countries now. So listen, I need you to hang out with me. We are going to have a fabulous, fabulous time tonight. So I need you, yes, to go ahead and put some names in those in the chat area. Yes, this book is called And Still She Rise. This is a devotional journal that is not a tribute to the strength of women, but instead it is a book of reflective messages with uplifting gems and reminders that are rooted in scripture, the human experiences and lessons learned, acknowledging that we are constantly growing. So listen, let's hang in there, stay with me, and we will be right back, okay? Yes, and I am now going to let's go ahead and bring these fabulous women on. There they are. Hi, Dr. Rita. How you doing? Super happy to see you tonight.
Hello again tonight. Sandy, again,
Yes,
thank you for allowing us to grace your platform yet again with
absolutely.
the other authors who are a big part of this book. In fact, if it wasn't for them, this book wouldn't even be possible. So again, I thank you, ladies, authors of And Still She Rise. So we're excited to share about this book on tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am super excited to have you all with us on tonight. As we indicated, is that this anthology book project it's a devotional journal, but it's more than about the strength of women, but instead it's a book of reflective messages. And I want to stop right there. This book, yes, And Still She Rise, is going to definitely be a #1 bestseller. It is soon to be released. The bestseller campaign is going to be happening this coming Thursday. So listen, I need you guys to hang tight with us and go ahead and share it out, because you're going to want to know when that is going to happen. We're in here tonight to congratulate these ladies in advance, to support and cheer them on. And let's just talk about what it really means when we say, and still she rise. At this time, I would like for these ladies to go ahead and let's say hello. I do have another author that is with us. Yes, Dr. Joe. There she is. Hi, Dr. Joe. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to start with Christine Addison. Christine, if you will, come on and say hello to us and just a little bit about who you are.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Addison. Again, I am the creator and owner of AddisonLimited.com, Addison Inc. I am a mother. I'm a grandmother, which is one of my favorite things to do right now. I am a best-selling Amazon author. Woo-hoo. I am a billing manager at a top hospital, as well as various other things that I am always involved with. Lots of projects. I'm kind of like that admin on wheels. I just jump in, get my hands dirty. So I get pulled into a lot of different projects at times. But primarily right now, I'm just working on this project and a couple new things I have on the horizon. But to God be the glory, He always keeps me busy. I'm healthy. I have love. And I have my grandbaby. I'm a happy Gigi.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I'm right there with you. I'm a nana. So, but listen, you go ahead, Gigi. Absolutely. And we have the phenomenal, yes, many of you know her as Dr. Miata. And we are talking about Dr. Miata Hampton. Come on. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Hello, I am doing well, Sandy. How are you? So I am Dr. Miata Hampton, but you can call me Dr. Miata. I am the CEO and founder of Pivot to Success Academy, where we serve busy working women who are working a 9-to-5 while building business simultaneously. So if you are someone who owns a business and you listen, you're tired, you wear all the hats, and you're looking for a way to add time back into your life and to add revenue into your business, well, I am the lady for you.
Absolutely. And we're going to hear a lot more about that. And so thank you so much for being on the show tonight. And we have Armenia Dominique. And if you will, come on and say hello to us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Sandy. So I am Armina Doming. I am co-founder of Candor Consulting Firm, where we provide individual counseling, couples counseling, family counseling to those who are in need of healing. I think a lot of us could attest to that. And I'm also a business managing owner of Azule Consulting Firm, where we do training and developments around mental health. And I'm just super excited to be a part of this. I feel like I'm in the room with greatness. And so I'm just here for the ride. I'm excited for the book. I can't wait to get into it and talk to many of you about it. And the book is available like now. You can even, call me, hit me up, and we can get your book pre-ordered. And so I'm just excited to be here. Thank you again.
Okay. And yes, and we have Charlotte Gordon. Charlotte, have I ever interviewed you before?
No, you have not, but I hope this is not the last time.
It will not.
I,
Absolutely. Faces look always so familiar, but welcome to the show and congratulations on being an author. Come on in and let our audience know who you are.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be there. I don't know if it's excitement or anxiety, but I'm just so glad to be a part of this project. I have a behavioral health background, which I've been blessed to be able to use in a ministerial capacity. And from a professional role, I'm a doula, postpartum and labor doula. So all those GGs out there, I get to see it from the front seat. Just excited. I'm also a founder of a women's nonprofit, Women Who Excel, short for WE. And so again, I'm just happy to be here. This is what I love to do, empower women. And this was just a great platform in which to do it. So happy to be here.
Absolutely. And you are welcome. And we will definitely be looking to hear more from you on tonight. And we also have with us Dr. Joe Bryant. Yes, come on, Dr. Joe, and say hello to us.
It would help if I had my mic on, right? So
it's just more to say.
So what I said was, I'm excited to be here today. And I was so excited, I forgot to turn my mic on. But like the other lady said, I'm excited about being here and being a part of this anthology book collaboration with these other ladies. My given name is John Anna Bryant. I am a nurse. I have a doctorate in nursing. And my business is Nursing with Dr. J. Bryant. And what I provide is education for nurses at any level to better understand into their job, their position, their purpose, to help them to be the better nurse, the better person they can be. I am also an ordained minister at my local church. Again, I'm excited. This is my third book. I'm excited about that. And like Miss Armenia said, hit me up. If you're looking for your pre-order copy, they will be available in April. And so I'm excited. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you so much. So listen, as you can see, I need you to, as I say, put the seatbelt on, strap it in, and let's go for the ride, because tonight we are meeting another set of amazing authors that are a part of this amazing book that is the visionary of this book project is none other than Dr. Tashina Reeder. And Dr. Reeder, if you will, come on and say hello. I'm going to do your bio. As they say, how you feeling tonight? And are you getting the butterflies in your stomach because the book release is about to take place?
Hello, everyone, again. Hello, viewers out there in the virtual space. Hello, and welcome for hanging out with us to meet the authors of And Still She Rise. Sandy, to be honest with you, I was just saying to myself earlier today, reflecting on how an idea birthed this book, but also the previous book that came out in September. And oh my God, I'm so honored that you saw fit to use me to be able to give voice to other women, to help inspire other women. And so I'm thankful to be used to meet these ladies. I know most of them individually, and I just met Dr. Joe, but the rest of the ladies I know intimately. And so they share a special place in my heart. So I'm excited that they said yes to the call to participate in this book. And so I am thankful, forever thankful to them to make this possible. And I just had to show this off again because when it arrived, it brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Woo, I'm about to get emotional. Because it was an idea. It was an unfinished project, actually. And I said, God, we have to finish this because the second summit is coming in. He laid on my heart to finish the book. And so here you have it. There you have it. And so I'm thankful.
And when you're literally holding it in your hand, you know, we are talking about the ebook that is the bestseller campaign. But there's nothing like holding, it's like giving, as you're saying, giving birth. And especially as a visionary author, I've had solo projects, and the other ladies here may have been a part of a book or even a visionary themselves. So I can see why the tears are there. I can see and understand the emotion behind it, because when you step out on faith, come on, somebody talk to me right now. When you step out on faith, and I know you to be a woman of God and a woman of faith, and so in spite of everything, you, as you said, you heard is that, hey, we got to finish. Come on, I want you to go a little bit deeper with that, because we never know who's in our audience, and they are right on the brink of possibly saying no. And it could be a book project. It may not be a book project, but it could be starting their own business. It could be, yes, becoming, continuing their education. So I would like for you to just kind of unpack that a little bit more before we continue.
Absolutely. I know. I guess I'll start off first is kind of giving some background to the title, because I'm often asked why that title. And to be honest with you, it was inspired. I call her Auntie. Auntie. She's not my aunt, but I call her my ancestor, Auntie Dr. Maya Angelou. And she has an infamous poem called "And Still I Rise," among other great literary works that she has produced. And whenever I hear this particular poem, it touches me deeply, because she speaks about how still she rise above it all, right? Above the pain, above the emotional scarring, above the judgment, just above. And if you ever watched any of her videos on YouTube University has her kind of reciting this poem in various settings. And there's one particular setting, she gets all into her wording, and she did a gesture at the end and said, shh, shh, there I go. And that thing hit me like bricks, because I think as women, we do so much. We do so much, and oftentimes we don't give ourselves the grace or the acknowledgement that we're doing the best that we can, and we're where we are in that moment, and that despite what it feels like, despite what it may look like, we are still rising. And I know, and still she rises not grammatically correct, right? When you say rise at the end, I just felt like it was poetic to kind of give the message that despite it all, we still rise. Every day we're rising. Every day there's new challenges. We're still rising. We're still trying to do our best, despite what it may feel like. And so I wanted to give voice to that, and having the authors, part of that, I knew that I didn't want it to just be an anthology where we tell our stories, right? I'm not saying that our stories aren't important, but I wanted to give something meaningful to the readers to kind of provoke change, transformation, to comfort, to kind of give love through words, to cause them to critically think about some things. And what was amazing to me, I think I shared this with Dr. Miata, when I was getting the chapters and edited, I began to read them, and I got choked up. I said, oh my gosh, it's amazing how everyone was aligned. And I'm like, and no one knows each other. No one's seen each other's chapters. But I said, wow, look at God. That's all I could say was, look at God. And so I am hopeful, and I'm just standing in the assurance of God that this book will be impactful to those who read. And so I'm thankful to the authors who is a part of this work, and that they too will share it to their network and could impact change via their businesses or their things that they do outside of the book.
Yes, that's amazing. And thank you for, as we begin to unpack this, those of you that are tuning in, thank you. If you're tuning in and watching us on our YouTube channel, thank you so much. Do go ahead and subscribe. And that way, whenever we do go live with amazing authors, such as we have tonight, that you will get the notification. So as we are going to hear from CTR Media Network, and then we'll come back and have a conversation, have a dialogue of why these ladies said yes to Dr. Reader and this amazing book that is about to be released. They've got some impactful things going on. There's some events that are happening over the next 3 days, starting on Thursday. So we have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the summit. So listen, stick around. All right. And we're going to now hear from Dr. Tina J. Ramsey and the CTR Media Network.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Yes, CTR Media network.com. You just simply go to www.ctrmedianetwork.com. And if you would like to be a guest or even sponsor our show, just simply go to Coffee Conversation. You see us among the list of podcasters and reach out to us, and we will talk and see how we can connect and how we can serve you. On tonight, we are with Dr. Tashina Reeder, along with the contributing authors. We are in night 2. So listen, guys, we want to definitely thank. I can see that some are following us. I need you all to tag some ladies, tag some individuals so that we can come and celebrate these phenomenal authors and women that are part of this amazing book project. At this time, I would like to go ahead and introduce Christine Edison. Christine, and she's going to go ahead. Christine, tell us first of all, how did you meet Dr. Reeder?
Originally I met Dr. Reeder at our local church so many years ago. My daughter is 28, so probably about 26 years ago, maybe. We were on music ministry together. So we've been walking that journey ever since. And kind of just every year that went by, there were different things that would happen in both of our lives that kind of brought us together, and we would kind of separate and then we'd be together. And we just always ended up reconnecting. And somehow we became travel buddies. So we have like the 3 amigos that go out and we travel together. And so I've been walking with Tashina and her various projects for a while now. And she encourages me in all the things that I go through, just as a woman of God and just as in sisterhood, but also just watching her go through her different journeys and watching her grow and watching her rise. And I think one of the things that we have been able to embrace in our little love circle is celebrating those moments when each of us have risen above the different things that we've gone through. So this book and this journey and this new project is really a celebration of kind of seeing all of us kind of come together and celebrate and empower each other in different ways.
I love it. I love the theme celebrating, because as we look at the theme of the background, the backdrop of, excuse me, of what is being said, that is this devotional journal. I want to read as the information. This is the synopsis of this book. The devotional journal is not a tribute, to the strength of women. Instead, is a book of reflective messages. So, Dr. Miata, what is, you've met Dr. Reeder, and so what type of message would you two as well like to reach out to the reader as they read your chapter?
So, this is so crazy, because I think I just really, right now, have had a moment. So my chapter is about reminding women that you are God's handiwork, that you don't need anyone else's validation. You don't need anyone telling you that you are enough because you were born enough, and that everything that you need is on the inside of you. Everything that you need to succeed, God has already placed those things on the inside of you. It is a chapter filled with encouragement for women who struggle with, I would say, doubt, women who struggle with confidence, women who struggle with self-worth. So if there is anything that you can take away from this, I want you to know and to always be reminded that you are God's masterpiece and that you are enough because He said that you were enough, that you are qualified because He qualified you. And you don't need another human being on this earth to tell you that you are enough, that you're smart enough, that you're pretty enough, that you are already all those things, and that God planted on the inside of you everything that you needed to succeed in this world.
That is good. I love it. So the gem of not needing the validation of men and knowing that we are enough. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we have Armenia, Dominique, if you will. How did you come to? Well, you did. You shared earlier. So what made you say yes to this book project?
I mean, how could you not, right? I've known Dr. Tashina for so long, I think some 20 some years too. And we've always stayed connected, even if it was at the hem, we could go months and then boom, we're back right where we left off as if we never left off.
Yeah,
and so
they say don't skip a beat, right?
Right. When I got the call, I remember I was driving to work that morning. And so it's one of those things whenever she calls, it's like, oh, Tashina, like, hey, girl. And so she shared with me, like, I have this great idea. And I was like, Tashina, I think I said yes before you even finished. But this is something that I had been praying about because if you live on this earth long enough, you're going to experience some kind of traumas, right? And I think what happens is in the midst of it, you have your supports, if you have the supports around, but then it's like the aftermath, the thing, that little space that lingers in between. And I just have a story I wanted to share. So when she asked me if I would want to be a part of the project, I said, absolutely. And so I am just forever grateful for it. So that's why, because I have a story. I'm like many women that live on this earth. And so I just wanted to encourage someone that even in that still moment, that there is this profound strength in that little window where that aftermath exists.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Wow, that is that little window. I love it. As you were talking about the connection, so there's a common thread here, Dr. Reader, is that you bring women together. You probably, we talk about the influence, the impact. And so that's amazing. I love it. Charlotte, how you doing?
I am great. I am good.
So you hear your co-authors. So have you written before?
No, I have not. Not for publication, but just in free time. Just something I doodled around with.
So look at this. And so what an amazing way to enter into the world of authorship and to share your story. We know that is not your complete story. So this being a devotional and the gems, as we look at the validation, we look at the connection, the common thread. Come on and share with us how you connected with Dr. Reader and what made you say yes.
First of all, I've known Dr. Tashina about 10 years now from church. Beautiful voice, beautiful spirit. And I just was like, I wanted to be a part of this project before. And it's something how God will allow something to come around when it's the right time. And this was a perfect time for it to come to me again, because you sometimes are in that place where you feel like I have nothing to give, or right now life is standing still. And then I saw this. And I was like, wow, God was using me in so many different ways. But in this season, he was not using me for anything. But I was like, this is an odd season. This is a weird season. And then I was still, and then this presented itself. And I was like, God had given me an opportunity to manifest myself in a new way. And I said, and what other way than someone who had written Manifesting Her? And I was just like, wow, it boomeranged right back. And God was like, I'm doing a new thing. And I'm using your old skills, but I'm using you in a new way to do the same thing you've been doing, which is to empower women. Let them know that it's not the end. You're still usable. There's still a season to change. There's still new opportunities, and I'm going to use you for that. So I was ecstatic. I was like, wow, thank you, Lord. You heard my prayer, and you used little old me even in this season of what I thought was brokenness. And he allowed me to give a voice, to use my voice to empower other women.
That is amazing. Those of you that are in our audience, we want to say hello to Ayana Addison. Ayana says, woohoo, go mom. She's in there supporting you. And always, yes, we want to thank Brenda Moultrie, who is out of South Carolina. Thank you for coming through. Brenda is like our ambassador, and she shares it out and puts it out for us and does some moderating. So thank you so much, Brenda. I certainly do appreciate it. Yes, those of you that are tuning in, we are with the phenomenal, yes, Dr. Tashina Reeder, who is the visionary author of this book that we are talking about tonight. And the book is soon to be released. And so the bestseller campaign is taking place on this Thursday. So I am going to actually put the how you can be able to reach out to these ladies and be able to connect. But it's happening on Thursday. Y'all know what I tell you to do. Put it on a post-it note, put it on your head, put it on your calendar, put it somewhere. So we're talking about Thursday, which on Thursday, it is what? The 28th of March. Women's Month. How profound that this is Women's History Month, that this book will be coming out. And Dr. Joe, would you kind of elaborate on that? How, what is the significance of this book? And we're talking about And She Still Rises.
So, like the other ladies, well, I didn't know Dr. T before the joining into the group. Is one of those, you had nothing else to do, but I was scrolling through Facebook.
Yeah.
And I saw.
See what happens when you start scrolling?
I saw the advertisement, and then I saw that she knew so many people that I knew. I said, well, if she knows this many people, then she must be of good stock. And so we had a very long conversation. It was very fruitful and very meaningful. I said probably initially, and I don't think I waited 24 hours before I said yes. I did one of the deals that my father used to tell me when I was a kid. Let me pray about it, and I'll get back to you.
Right.
And the more I thought about it, the more it resonated with me. And what would I say to that young person? And so the significance of being Women's Month and being launched at this time is each of us has had something in our life where we didn't always share our story, right? And we were afraid to share our story for various reasons. But in each and every one of us, in my section talks about resiliency. So through our lives and the things that we have gone through, our story is not our own. Our story is meant to help that person that's coming behind us and to show them that we have been and we are and we continue to be resilient in life, especially in our faith. And so launching this in the month of March, Women's Month, gives adage to, I'm going through some things right now, but I'm going to rise up above it. And you're going to see how I rise, not on my own, but because God is with me. And not only that God is with me, but I'm bringing some folk with me, because together we can do it all. Together we can accomplish all. Together we can move forward. Together we can do that with God and more.
I'm behind the scenes. And so that is great. Y'all be talking. I'm like, yes, y'all getting it in. Thank you, Dr. Joe, for bringing that to center. Those of you that are tuning in, yes, we are with these incredible women. I want you to stay tuned because they're about to share just a little bit of what their contribution is to this book. So as you tuned in on last night, we had an amazing conversation. Some of the things that the gems, one of the gems that really stood out with me is one of the authors said is that being still and know that I am God. She talked about her experience of, she started out talking from becoming a divorced, a single mom, and how that impacted her. And one of the things that she said, the Lord said, "Be still and know that I am God." Then we heard advocacy. Then we talked about riches and being motherhood and being authentic. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the gems that these ladies are going to be dropping on tonight. One of our sponsors is an amazing couple that has a book out. It is a cookbook, and it is called Cooking to Heal. This is from Dr. Katandria Demps and her husband, Keith Demps, and the book is called Cooking to Heal. Stay tuned, and we will be right back as we hear from this amazing sponsor.
Today's podcast is brought to you by KLD Consultors, featuring their latest ebook, Cooking to Heal, a Christian couple's devotional journal authored by #1 bestsellers Mr. Keith L. and Dr. Katandria L. Demps. This spiritual cookbook was written to offer 5 simple ways to help Christian married couples improve their relationships. Cooking to Heal helps couples to grow spiritually healthy, improve nutritional health, increase intimacy, have more efficient meal planning, and decrease stress with daily caregiving duties. To help you create the most out of your dinner, marriage, and prayer, go to https://www.cookingtohealbook.com. Pick up your copy today.
Want to thank our sponsor, yes, Dr. Katandria Demps and her husband, Keith Demps, this amazing couple that has this book that is called Cooking to Heal. Just simply go to their website, which is www.cookingtohealbook.com, and you will be able to pick up your e-copy of their book. They have amazing recipes. There's a blog there. Different ways that you can enhance your healing process in your family. You don't necessarily have to be a married couple. You don't have to be a couple. You can be a single parent with your children and find that around the table opportunity to have some family time. So at this time, we are going to now hear from our authors. I'm going to start with Dr. Miata. And if you will, go ahead. Let me pull this information back up. Yes, I want you to go ahead. We're going to step back and hear just a snippet of your contribution to the book that we are talking about on tonight. All right. And Still She Rise.
So when Dr. Tashina asked me if I would be a part of this project, of course I said yes without even having to think about it. So Dr. Tashina is one of my accountability partners. And so my chapter comes from Ephesians chapters 2, verses 10. And again, it is a reminder that you are God's handiwork, that you are God's workmanship, that you are God's masterpiece. And as women, oftentimes, like some of the other ladies have said, that we've gone through things that sometimes that we can view as a setback. Times when we're told no, and those no's, we may interpret those as denials, when truly they are delays, and when our setbacks are nothing more than a setup, that God is always at work and God is always up to something on our behalf, because we are his workmanship, and there is nothing more that he wants for us than for us to succeed. And so it is a chapter about self-discovery, about coming into your own, about answering your call, being bold in your call, being confident in your call, and going after everything that God has for you.
Thank you so much for that. I love the self-discovery piece, and that what your chapter will be helping us in discovering who we are, who God says that we are. And so I'm looking forward to reading your chapter. At this time, we're going to call on the author, Charlotte Gordon, as she shares a snippet of what we can expect from her chapter.
Okay. My chapter was taken from Psalm 30, verse 5. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy does come in the morning. And I just wanted to, in this trauma-informed world that we're living in, and learning that we have to recognize that sometimes it's okay to not be okay. That doesn't always sit so well with us, because we've gotten so used to putting on a mask, so used to pretending we're good when we're not really good. There's that stigma behind therapy. So we're trying to embrace, or I wanted to convey that we need to embrace that in those times we don't feel okay, it is okay. And we need to reach out, and we need to express, and we need to have safe environments in which to state, I don't feel okay, and have those resources to support us, to have that sisterhood, to say, you're not okay today, but I am. And here I am lending you a hand until you do feel okay again. Because it does say, weeping may endure for a night, but joy, it does come in the morning. And that is not a new thing, because even Jesus wept. And I just thought that was so ironic that this book was coming out during this Holy Week. And as we're building up to that season, and I was just like being more and more reinforced that Jesus, even in that garden, he felt weak. And he asked people to pray for him. So I just wanted to reinforce that amongst other women, that get that sisterhood together, get that circle together. So when you are weak, they can be strong until you are strong again. And that just resonates with me on all platforms, that we are responsible for each other. We are our sisters' keepers. And that is a heartfelt for me.
That is amazing. I love it how you were saying lending a hand, reaching out to others, that it's okay to say when I'm not okay. You know, we, for years, we would just want to put the face on, Dr. Rita, put the mask on, we'll put the makeup on, and we will go to work, we'll go to church, we will go to family functions, we'll go to meetings. Let's talk about women in leadership. We'll go to meetings and hurting all at the same time. But I believe that what is happening now more and more, that even women that are in leadership are letting you know, listen, I hurt as well. You know, don't be fooled by the suit, the stilettos, me standing in front. There are seasons when I need my sister, as Charlotte just alluded to. And I think that's so important. Let's kind of talk about that. Ladies, I want you to unmute yourselves when the opportunity comes. I want you to share how important it is. Just as Charlotte just said, you all are leaders. You own businesses, or you're in corporate, in the corporate world, in whatever field that you're in. How important this book is going to be, and also to say that, hey, I'm going through something here. Anyone?
I think I can start us off.
Okay.
You know, since the pandemic, it's been really, it feels like you're alone, right? So we had shut down for a while, and everyone was in their own little quarters. And as business owners, mothers, grandmothers, you name it, it can feel so isolatory. And this book kind of, for me at least, opens up like, hey, sis, you're not alone. We're in this together. We're on this journey together. And when I think about even my chapter in the book, the part that really makes me happy to share comes from enduring love and grace, right? When we think about, you know, that small little window, if you think about the thing that's happened to you, let's say a death, right? So many people are around, the support is there, but it just seems like after that coffin goes into the grave or the funeral is over, just like that, the support stops. It may not stop, but it just feels like that, right? And so in my chapter, I kind of share about, reflecting on the enduring love and grace of God, like that even in this journey towards healing, you are never, ever alone. And so if you feel that, pick this book up. We're here. We're between the pages. We're sharing our story so that you feel this connection with us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes. Anyone else?
It
I
makes
love
me
what
think
Dr. I like what Dr. Miata, you just kind of echoed and said, yeah, don't be fooled by the suit. Listen, my stilettos, I look cute and I'm just broken all on the inside and all on the inside. Yes, come on. Who is, yeah.
What I was gonna say, just kind of add to that, it just reminds me when you talk about women being in leadership and going through all the things that we go through. Our experiences may feel like they are unique to us, but if we had a little bit more time to go around and pass the mic, what we would find out is that we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same ship. We are experiencing some of the same things, and that we are constantly in a state or in a phase where we are becoming, where we are constantly shedding old things. Who was it? Someone said, behold, I think it was Dr. Joe talked about, behold, I do a new thing, where we are constantly in a state where we are becoming. We are constantly in a state where we are shedding the old to pick up the new. And so it is so important for us as women, especially women who are in leadership, to be very keen and to be very aware that we are always becoming, and that just to be able to hold on to the behold, I do a new thing, that nothing that you go through is by chance. Nothing that you go through is by happenstance, that God is providentially working on your behalf, and that everything that you go through and everything that you are going through, that he has orchestrated it so that you can come to a moment just like this for such a time as this. And I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to preach myself happy.
Oh my, and that's what it's all about. That's these gems that you're talking about. When you mention about we're all in the same boat and may have experienced or experiencing the same thing. Here's the key. And Dr. Joe, I want you to be ready. Is because I'm gonna throw you the mic, as they say. Okay. But that season is over. So girl, I can help you. I understand why the tear is coming down, but you smiling through, but I see the tear. I know because I went through. And now I can, as Charlotte was saying, is that I am my sister's keeper, girl. I'm standing right here beside you. Come on, Dr. Joe.
So, God works all things out, right? All things work together for good for them that love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. Yes. And as the other ladies were speaking, I heard so many different things. And so, as I mentioned earlier, my section is resilient faith. And so with God, Matthew tells us, with God, all things are possible. So when it is that we are facing a divorce, with God, all things are possible. When it is that we have lost a child, with God, all things are possible. When we have been fired from a job, with God, all things are possible. We can be resilient. We may be like the we will wobble. We get hit, we get knocked over, but we still get up. We still rise. We're like the buoy in the ocean. And the water is crazy and it's going all the way over, but it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it gets knocked over time and time again. But what does it do at the end? It gets up and it stands tall. And we can stand tall in Christ, knowing that no matter what comes at us, no matter who comes at us, in Christ we stand tall and we shall rise with him.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Miata, for putting that in there. All things are possible. Want to acknowledge our audience, Nurse Shane, and she is a sexual assault recovery coach. Thank you for tuning in. She's on our YouTube channel. Thank you. And then we also have Bridget. Bridget says, congratulations to all of the authors. Dr. Rita, when you hear these ladies just talking like this, how are you feeling right now?
Emotional, honestly. It just feels good to see God's work. Yeah. And as the ladies were talking, I said, when Miata said the words, I was thinking when she said it, for such a time as this. Yeah. And I know that I think Dr. Joe mentioned, we all go through so many things. Yes. And it made me think of all the crosses we had to bear. And we never knew that all of those experiences has worked together for our good for such a time as this. And so with the life experiences, with the pain and the joy and all the things that we've endured, we didn't understand the crosses then, but we can stand tall behind the cross now because here we are, still rising to share our story to help another sister across. Like Charlotte was saying, we are our sister's keeper. And it just amazes me. We don't, the scripture comes to mind is lean not to your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge God and he'll direct your path. And you don't understand it when you're going through. And I've always said, as I was going through, that your go through is somebody else's get through, right? And that there is healing and transparency. And so I never imagined ever that this was going to be a thing, that God would use me in this way. And I remember talking to Christine. She remembers when I first had the whole idea to do a book. It took me some years to get the first one out because I was still healing. Yeah. And God was like, girl, sit down. You ain't ready yet. But keep writing. Girl, sit down. You ain't ready yet. But keep writing. And then finally, when God said it was time, it happened seamlessly. Yeah. And Christine was there and she kind of witnessed that whole process. And I am so thankful to God because you don't know how he's going to use your story. You don't know how he's going to use the experience. And when you see it kind of unfolds.
In a world where decisions cast a shadow, generational turnaround, we rise to follow. For the young, the purpose denied. We bring truth proof, no longer to hide. Generational turnaround, we're on the scene. Interviewing the wrong lead, convicted so keen that God knows, making choices astray. Preventing them from walking a dangerous way. The numbers of the youth, staggering it seems. Their belief in any means, even extreme. But we call upon God as our first reaction. Offering an alternative, a divine attraction. Special disappear who've been where they aspire. To detour them to show a path that's higher. A profitable outcome, pleasing to God's sight.
Hello, everyone. This is Judy Ambrose James, and I have with me Coach Jolianne Fields. She is a good friend of mine, but not only a friend, she is also a co-writer. Me and her and 5 other co-writers, we are responsible for Activate Your Faith and Witness a Generational Turnaround. Let me grab this book. I should have had it in my hand. Yes, here it is. This is our anthology. And I just want you're going to see it again at the end of this interview. And you're also going to be able to buy it. She's going to tell you how you're going to get it from her. So just hold on. Wait a minute. This is some good read. I guarantee you. It is 7 Overcomers. And we've overcome more. Look, I'm not going to tell y'all what the book is about, but every one of us has a journey that you're going to have to follow. All right, Julianne. Hi, babies. Thank you for joining me today on this generational turnaround. I'm going to read you just a little bit about Julianne before she speaks to you. Hold on a minute. Okay. Julianne Fields is a remarkable individual hailing from Slidell, Louisiana, and currently residing in Dallas, Texas. As a mother of 5, she embodies resilience, and strength in all areas of her life. Julianne is multifaceted professional, excelling in various fields. First and foremost, Julianne is an international acclaimed best-selling author. She's a captivating reader with her powerful storytelling. Her words have earned her not one, but two prestigious journalism awards, showcasing her talent and dedication to the craft. In addition to her literary achievement, Julianne is a passionate health and wellness practitioner. Her expertise in this field allows her to guide others toward a balanced and fulfilling lifestyle. As an educator, she shares her vast knowledge with others, empowering individuals to take control of their well-being. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Julianne is also a beloved figure on social media, known as Virtual Granny on TikTok. She connects with children worldwide, spreading her life skills and content. Look, y'all, this woman right here, despite facing the challenge of being legally blind, Julianne's unwavering faith in God drives her to conquer life's obstacles. Her determination and resilience shine through in her videos where she shares valuable insight and experiences and persevere in her wellness and her personal growth. And that's just a little bit, you know what? She is real. Look, I don't know anybody realer. She makes me just want to be a better me. Okay. In the dating, I want to date. You know, I called Julianne. I said, Julie, I want to date. You know, life is for the living. So she is a prime example of living. So Julianne, can you unmute and tell everybody hello?
Hi, Dr. Judy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So, I want to just celebrate the woman that you just read the bio of.
Yes, yes, yes. You right.
But yes, putting all jokes aside, I'm honored to be here with you today, and it's an honor and a pleasure. And it's something that I'm passionate about, and that's seeing a generation turn around. So I'm really excited about our conversation today. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And yeah, generational turnaround. And you know, we all work with a generational turnaround in different ways. And
Yes.
I'm so excited about the way you work with the children and which one you decided to work with. That, like I said, virtual granny. Why don't you tell everybody how you got that name, virtual granny?
Ooh, okay. So Virtual Granny came about in 2022. And actually, I'm celebrating my 2-year anniversary being on social media, on TikTok mainly, as Virtual Granny. But I've been a Virtual Granny long before that. I want to say my oldest virtual grandchild, maybe 16 right now. Um, and I don't know, I just have a passion for children. And over the years, my children would bring their friends home. And as my children got to be adults, they would bring their girlfriends home. And some of them had children. And I just saw where these young women were really struggling, trying to pass on some of the old fashioned values that we had when I was growing up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And for me, it was just natural to impart some of my home training and education and things that my grandmother taught me. I came from a family of educators in Southeast Louisiana, our little town of Slidell. Really, Alton, Louisiana is the name of the community that we were from. But my family members, they built a church and a school in that community. And so they were very passionate about those two things, God and education. And that's something that they passed on to me. So I felt like it was my responsibility when I saw these mothers struggling with their children to offer them what was offered me, and that was God and some education. But I became virtual granny on social media in 2022, when at the end of 2021, my son Warren was tragically and instantly killed. And I actually have on his t-shirt today in honor of him, because he was the reason that Virtual Granny came about. I was helping him raise his children while he was at work, and their mother was away in Georgia at the time. And I was teaching them the things that I was taught. I was teaching them about God. I was teaching them about life, about manners, about respect, I was teaching them their ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. I was teaching them how to garden, how to exercise, you name it. I was teaching it to them.
You were a real grandmother, weren't you? I mean,
Yes. I
you
mean,
were
we
a
had, we woke up in the
grandmother.
morning, me and the girls, I would give them a warm towel for their face and help them brush their teeth and set them to the table. It was 3 of them, Lauren, Aaron, and Aubrey. Set them to the table, fix them a hot breakfast. I would give them grits, eggs, smoked sausage, a piece of bread, some juice. And that was breakfast every day. After breakfast, we would do a lesson with Miss Monica on YouTube. Miss Monica taught ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. After that, we do an exercise for about 30 minutes with this lady called Chloe Ting. And then after that, I take them outside, give them lunch, take them outside, let them run around for a little bit, let them help me in the garden, and then bring them in, give them a bath, feed them dinner, and off to bed. And that was our routine daily. Once a week, we went to choir rehearsal. And my grandbabies were, I had them from the time they were about 6 to 8 months up until they turned 5. But one of the things I did was I instilled God in their lives. And so I taught them scriptures. I taught them the Our Father prayer. I taught them different songs that they would, be practicing at choir rehearsal. And it got to the point that when we went to church on Sundays, if it was the Sunday that the youth were supposed to be singing, some of the teenagers would not want to get up in front of the audience. So my granddaughters, who were like 4 and 5, would get up. One would say a scripture. The other one would say the Our Father prayer, and the other one would sing a song. And so basically they would do devotion in front of the entire church, because that's what they were asked to do, and the teenagers didn't want to do it. And I had worked with them to where it was like second nature for them to, you know, say their scriptures, sing their songs, and do their prayers, whether they were in front of just me on the side of the bed, or whether they were standing in front of a church full of folks. And so, but when my son got killed, he was killed tragically December 12th of 2021. We buried him a few days before Christmas, 5 days after my birthday. And my daughter, who lives in Texas, was like, "Mom, you can't stay here by yourself. I hate to break it to you, but you're going to have to come to Texas with me." And I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem." Because I thought I was coming for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I was coming to relocate. But with my vision, me being diagnosed as being legally blind and having diabetic retinopathy, they were anticipating that it might not be long before I would go completely blind. And my children were like, "Well, you know, we live rural. This is not necessarily the best environment for you with vision impairment, let alone, you know, if something were to happen, we couldn't really reach you." So I packed my little things. I came to Texas with 3 t-shirts and 2 yoga pants,
Julianne, let me stop you
thinking
right
that I
there.
was going to be here just for a week or so. And it's been 2 years. And so in that time, immediately after I got here, I was just like, "Lord, I miss the babies. I don't know how to reach out to them because their mother wasn't really allowing them to call me. And when I called them, the phone would just go to voicemail or whatever." And so the Lord just put it in my spirit. He said, "Text them." So I started texting them, but he told me to text them the same things that I would be doing with them if they were with me at the kitchen table. And so that's what I started doing. I started making videos of different scriptures, of prayers, or what to do first thing in the morning, or what they should do last thing at night, or how they should respect their mother and other family members, or how they should get along with each other and things like that. And I just started texting those things to them as reminders because I didn't want them to forget the foundation that I had laid.
Now that's
But as I was doing that,
Julianne, can you hear
yes,
me?
yes,
That you said a word that I had to stop you on. Foundation. That's what I'm getting from you through the whole story. That for generational turnaround, you have to have a foundation to start children on. How? What age were your granddaughters when you started them on this foundation?
they were 6 to 8 months old.
Oh,
I started teaching them as soon as they could start. Well, really, even before that, because I was reading them Bible stories. I was playing little hand games with them, but and things like that, but they were all educational. So yeah, it was from the foundation, from the beginning.
it,
When I
did you?
had children, I started working with my children in utero. So when I was pregnant with my children, I was reading them Bible stories and talking to them, and while they were in my womb. And when they came out, um, you know, I was breastfeeding and changing diapers, but I was still teaching them about God and um, you know, some of the foundations of like I said, their ABCs, their 1, 2, 3s, how to count their toes and fingers.
You said
You know, just
you said look, you said you were teaching manners. You don't hear that anymore. You were teaching them manners. Were you brought up being taught manners?
I was brought up with what was called etiquette and decorum.
Okay.
Which can be interpreted as manners. But my grandmother kept Emily Post book of etiquette in the living room next to the piano or on top of the piano. It was a piano, a Bible, and a hymn book.
I could be wrong, but I don't hear any parents say, well, I'm teaching my children manners or etiquette. I remember Emily Post. Yeah, I remember it well. And do you still use that guideline because you work with well, not just girls, you work with young people at what, a center?
Yes, I volunteer at a community center here in South Dallas. And a lot of the children that attend that community center are what are considered low income or underprivileged or whatever. But I feel like the only reason just because they have a low income doesn't mean they have to be underprivileged. And so what I do when I go in, I teach what I consider are basically soft skills. I teach them social skills. I teach them etiquette. I teach them how to respect their elders, how to respect themselves, and how to respect others. I teach them things like the golden rule. Like some children have no idea what the golden rule is. Right. Do unto others as you would have them do unto yourself. Some children, something came to me the other night. I was laying in the bed listening to the book of Deuteronomy. And I realized that a lot of our children have no idea of what the 10 Commandments are. Mm-hmm. And so God has just been dealing with me on that I need to teach these children that not only are you supposed to respect yourself, respect your elders, and respect others, but there's a code of ethics or a code of living that we should be governing our life by. And that's the 10 Commandments. And, you know, a lot of people, whether they're religious or not, you don't hear anyone talk about the 10 Commandments anymore either. You know, but those are our foundations. Mm-hmm. Those are our foundations, especially as African Americans. And we've got to get back to that, Miss Judy. If we're going to see this generation turn around, mm-hmm. we've got to get back to our core values and what was important in our community, in our church, and in our home. And that was initially God.
And do you believe that it's possible to make this generational turnaround without the parents first?
The parents are important.
Yeah.
The parents are important. However, I believe that if we can get the children on board, the Bible says that a child shall lead them. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an example. The other day, I wasn't feeling too well, and my daughter called me. She was actually in Atlanta at my grandchildren's house, and that was a very pleasant surprise. And so one of the girls got on and she was like, "How's it going, Granny?" I said, "Baby, I haven't been feeling too good." And she said, "Oh, are you still having problems with your eyes?" I said, "Yeah, I am." She said, "Don't worry, Granny. I'm going to pray for you." I said, "Okay, thank you, baby." And when we got ready to hang up, she said, "Granny?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Don't forget, God is always with you and he's not going to forget about you."
Oh,
Miss Judy, I almost cried. And let me tell you why. The last year that we were together, one of the scriptures that I taught her specifically was Hebrews 13:5. Now, Hebrews 13:5 says that God says he'll never leave you nor forsake you. And the reason I taught her that was because we had a situation where her mom had come to visit, and her mom decided to go back home to Georgia, but she left the children in Louisiana. And their dad went to work. So she was freaked out. She was like, oh my God, where are my parents? I said, your dad went to work, but your mom did go back to Georgia. I said, but you don't have to worry because God says he'll never leave you nor forsake you.
Yes.
And that means he won't ever forget about you. Now here it is, almost 3 years later, that little baby from 2.5 years ago is telling me, Granny,
Yes.
God says he's not going to forget about you and that he's going to be with you.
That's beautiful. What you
So that gave
instilled,
me hope.
what you
That gave me hope.
instilled, what you instilled in her at that young age came back to where she could instill it back in you. That's a beautiful thing.
And at the proper situation.
Yeah.
Because I was feeling very low that day. And I guess they could tell by my demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
But she just, you know, it had to be the Holy Spirit talking through her. Because she's only 8. She just turned 8. Yeah.
I believe is what you said. The children, they start at a very early age. And remember you were talking to me about giving them cell phones and just pushing them on the side and put that phone in their hands, and wherever they go, they just go.
Yeah. And right now, you know, the Bible says that children are arrows in our hands as parents. It's in Proverbs somewhere that basically whatever direction we point a child in, that's the direction that child will go in. Well, right now, our children are coming out of the womb and we're putting cell phones and tablets in their hands. We aren't paying attention to what they're looking at or listening to or whatever. So basically, AI, as well as predators, as well as the rap culture, are raising our children.
That's right.
Well, they're not even raising our children. Our children are being, in the old days, we raised children. Right. We taught them right from wrong. We spent time with them. We taught them their colors, their ABCs, their 1, 2, 3s. We taught them how to appreciate the smell of a flower, or, you know, how to take a walk or enjoy that type of thing. Nowadays, children, the only thing they're concerned about is their parents' cell phone or tablet.
Yeah.
Or they want the latest Jordans and things like that, not understanding that, you know, I can remember times I walked barefoot.
Yeah, I do too. I
you know, I
remember
walked
that
barefoot
time.
and I was happy to do it.
Mm-hmm. You was at one with the earth.
Right, exactly. We were connecting and grounding and all that kind of thing. But you know, we've got to get back to, 1, setting a foundation. Number 2, to raising our children.
Yes,
actually spending time with them and imparting in them some of our values. And when I say our values, I mean our family, our culture, our community. And so we can't even allow it to be a situation of where, you know, we're a lot of times, if we aren't turning our children over to social media and television, we're turning them over to the educational system, where the educators are burnt out and everything, because they're having to be not only just the teacher, but the social worker and the parent. And so that means now our children come home with whatever identity or culture the teacher has. Some of the teachers in our educational system are witches and warlocks, or they're Satanism or Satanist. Um, some of them are pedophiles. And, don't get me wrong, there are some very good educators out there, but there's also some that have slipped through the cracks. And if we aren't on top of what's going on in our children's lives day and night, then we can very easily lose our children. One of the things I asked my parents on TikTok is, do you know where your children are? Number one, do you know who they're talking to when they aren't in conversation with you? Do you know who their friends are? And do you know what influences they are having on your child? Unfortunately, a lot of parents find out those answers way too late.
That's the truth. Joe, well, we have 10 minutes left. So I want to get to, what do you believe, what do you feel that should be done if we are going to have a successful generation turnaround?
Well, I believe that we've got to get the parents on board. We've got to get our fathers back in the home. As African American children, 65% of our children are being raised in a fatherless society, where not only do they not have a father in the home, they don't even have a father in their generation, or they don't even have a man in their generation. They're being raised by 2, 3, and 4 generations of women. A lot of our men are incarcerated. They are, some of them are just frustrated and have just walked out of their family situation for whatever reason. Many of them are on drugs. But I believe that in order to see the turnaround that we need to see, number one, we've got to get our men back in the home. Number two, we've got to get those men not only back in the home, but have them to be healthy and involved in healthy relationships with their partners, whether it's their wife, girlfriend, baby mama, whatever, because our children need to see those loving relationships. And when we get those two things back in place, where the man and the woman are actually on the same page and they're loving each other, respecting each other, and then spending the necessary time as a family and as individuals with the children, then that's the beginning. That's our foundation. That's our basic foundation.
Yes,
and then from there, we can continue to build.
Oh, yes. Yes. That is what generational turnaround is about. If we've got to, I still believe that we've got to be where the parents has to become involved, not just providers. We've got parents that's working 1, 2, and 3 jobs. They don't have time but to feed, provide a house, and that's it. The children, after that, they have.
And I believe that's where we come back in as a strong culture. We've always been an extended family culture. And we only got to this nucleus culture when we became Americans trying to keep up with the dream. I can remember living multi-generational in a home in Louisiana, where it was my grandparents, my mom, several of her brothers and sisters, and even their children. We were all living together in one home. And my mom was a single mother out working, but I was never home alone when that situation was going forth. I had my aunt there, my uncle there, my grandparents there.
Oh, yeah.
So, we had extended family that stepped in and helped the parent that was single or struggling or, exhausted or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think we need to get back to that where we have support
Extended.
systems within the family and the community.
Yes, I agree with you. Before we run out of town, I want you run out of town, run out of time. I want you to tell everyone how they can get in touch with you. I know you have recipe books. You have what do you call it, Julianne? Where helping people get through what? Oh God! Look, I'm. You're not a doctor, but you have all kind of portions. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm not a doctor, but a lot of people do come to me for different cures and health and wellness coaching and advice. It's interesting because a couple of times when I've gotten sick, I've heard the Lord said, "Physician, heal thyself." And at first I got angry. I'm like, well, Lord, if I knew what to do, I wouldn't be sick. But I just have to yield to that because a lot of times he has people come to me and pray for them when they're sick. And I'm like, Lord, it seems like I can heal everybody but me. But anyway, for those people that are interested in me as a health and wellness practitioner, I'm at fieldsofwellness@outlook.com. For those that are interested in me as the virtual granny, I'm on TikTok as the virtual granny, GRANNY, or they can email me at virtualgranny@outlook.com.
Right.
And that's either place they can pick up the book or they can get coaching and consulting on health and wellness or on how to empower the lives of themselves and their families.
Thank you, Julianne. And I'm going to say, look, y'all, I pray that today is better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow. I pray that tomorrow will bring forth a double helping of blessings in the form of opportunity you never saw coming. Give us your scripture before we leave.
Ooh, goodness. Well, the scripture that I've been saying a lot lately is Jeremiah 29:11. And that is, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future.
That's it right there. That's it. Thank you. I was hoping you would say that. So, all right, we'll be back next Saturday, 7:00. Thank y'all. And Julianne, thank you very much.
It was my pleasure, Dr. Judy. God bless.
The time is now, the time is here. Round up the soldiers and lend me your ear. Pick your head up, stick your chest out, be strong. Listen closely, cause men can't always be wrong. The time is now, the time is here. Round up the soldiers and lend me your ear.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is a Man Can't Always Be Wrong podcast with your guy T Swin.
Your boy J Bean.
And man, this podcast has been brought to you by CTR Media Network. Make sure you go check out the website, ctrmedianetwork.com, and check out all the amazing podcasters on there. Man, tonight we got an amazing guest. She's a professor, she's a lawyer, she's an author, and she gives people game on how to protect themselves, keep their money, and make money. We have the amazing Dr. Liddy Lewis.
Gotta do my little pom-poms.
Yes, ma'am.
I was a cheerleader in high school. I can't get that out of me, though.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here, gentlemen. Listen, when you guys interviewed my now husband, David Orozco for Settle Shark, he was like, these brothers are epic.
Thank you.
He loved you guys.
Man. Shout out to him, man. Thank you, sir. And we appreciate you for coming on our show tonight with us.
Oh, love it.
This is big for us. It's going to be a lot of education, a lot of good information for people tonight. And we appreciate it. So tell us what's been going on with you, Ms. Liddy.
Well, in December, I decided that I should get married because David and I had been together for as a couple for 6 years. And I know these long-term relationships remain long-term relationships sometimes, but we've known each other for almost 10 years. So we did it. We got married down in Hollywood Beach, Florida in December. And then we went off to Paris for the honeymoon because he was presenting there. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about is how to make these wonderful trips tax write-offs for your business, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, yeah. So we were in Paris for a little over a week, all tax deductible. And I encourage folks to do that. And then we went to New York, which is really my hometown, right? New York City. And we were there for another week to do another series of presentations for clients and things of that nature. And then we came back to Florida, where we call home now. So as the tax season has started, I cannot help but tell folks, make everything or almost everything that you do a business expense, right? And you get that deduction on your tax return because you run a small business. And people always ask this question when I bring this up, but don't I have to make money to be able to deduct it? And the answer is no, right? If you have been a startup or a brand new business in 2023, you can make $0 in your business and deduct up to $10,000 worth of expenses. That means you're getting a refund, right? And how big it is, other things that you put on the tax return. So remember that, my peeps, that you do not have to make money in the business to be able to deduct the business expenses. And the IRS gives you $10,000 and more if you need it, right? If they're legitimate expenses, traveling, things, training, things of that nature, right? You can go ahead and deduct. So that's my tax tip of the hour.
Thank you. We appreciate that because this is tax season, man. So you guys out there pay attention. And we will be putting her link. Her link is in the description of the episode. So if you're on YouTube watching, man, make sure you check in with Miss Liddy. And also, we're going to be putting it in the bottom of the screen throughout the show. Now, we met you at the Power of Podcasting event in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
There were so many people there that you helped out and guided them in their careers and their business and helping them make sure they make the right moves to protect themselves. And what are some of the things that you did to help these people out, these creators, these authors?
Yeah, and several of the attendees reached out to say that they had not formed an LLC, right? They didn't have a business structure, that they were just doing their gift, right? They're doing their flow. And I said, you're losing out on all the tax advantages, right? That's one, right? Number two, you're completely vulnerable. It's like running around in your underwear in the street. You have no clothes on, right? Yeah. You're completely vulnerable as a person. And the truth of it is, a lot of people will test you, right? They'll push you in your business. Oh, I didn't get this, all the products suck. All sorts of stuff that they'll say to not have to pay or to get a refund. So having a, right? So, and you've probably experienced some of that, right? Yeah. So the best thing to do is to create a business, and what it does, and I want us to really appreciate this as people of color, was the time when we were right in the United States because of who we were, what we look like, or parents. And it took, why laws are powerful because it changes things immediately. Right? have to go through the process of showing how it has impact. And that's fine. We all have stories, right, that we can talk about. But it hurts me when we are not, as a people, more business ready.
All right, so at this time, we are welcoming author, podcast, businesswoman, coach, podcast influencer, Coach Tina Ramsey.
What up, family? CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above par. Never lasting, motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions that you're asking. Serious talks and topics, how to come up and profit, how to better yourself, your health is here. We got it, reaching 350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like-minded, find your purpose and your assignment. Come get your fix, your feel, your mental alignment. Get active and speak to the masses. Build your influence all levels and all classes. Now you know you can monetize and grow. CTR Media Network, start the show. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR is who we are, the media network that's the best by far, you know. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. Yourself, your health is here, we got it. Reaching 350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like-minded.
Right? And all of that money, you need an accountant or a lawyer. I say go for a lawyer because they know just about everything the CPA knows and the law. That's right.
Yeah.
I tell folks this. So what you have then, you've created a trust and you've put all of the assets in it. And I tell folks, this is not hard. It's a contract. It's 10 pages. Sit down. Let's do this. Especially if you have not only special needs children, but just children.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the folks that usually come to me as referral, oh my God, you gotta talk to Dr. Liddy. She created this trust for us, for our kid. But if you have kids, how do you know for certain that the person that you have said, hey, look out for my kids if something happens to me, one will do it. How do you know that? Two, will have the resources to do it. And three, where are your kids going to live? Everyone's like shocked when I say this, but that's community lawyering. What does the community need to feel well, right, about things? So that's what you do. We do the trust, pour in. Even if you don't have the house now, you can always update. Leave them the apartment, right? Leave them the condo. Heck, leave them a boat. I don't really care where they
An RV, yeah.
Right? Give them an RV. Listen, RV. That is their home. And I tell folks in the RV life, which a lot of folks are doing now, you know, hotels are what we call public accommodations under the law, which is you don't have to be staying there to use their bathrooms, their showers, their parking lots, right? You don't need that parking lot you can pull into. And they'll say, oh, you're staying at the hotel? And all you have to say is, federal law allows me to be on the premises at all times. Would you like to speak to my lawyer about this issue? Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. That's a nice card to pull out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So just to give me a better understanding about the trust. So is it like, so who like once you put something into the trust, who's in charge of it? Are you in charge of it, or your child? It goes on to your child, or exactly how does that transfer over?
Yeah. So you decide, and this is the beauty about law. You get to define everything. So once you create the trust on the bank account, then it becomes who controls the trust. Well, you want to control it, right, for as long as you live, along with your lawyer's advice, because the laws change, right, from time to time. And then you put down who, after when you're gone, are you selecting to be your representative, right, that will continue to look out for the trust and your children and the property and the business. And then you put down, after them, and if this sounds like the Bible, right? So and so begot so and so begot so and so begot so and so. All of law comes from the Bible, right? It's just that we are using slightly different words, but the structure itself is biblical, right?
Yeah.
So you decide who, you decide where, you decide how, right? You decide when does this trust come alive, right? Is it alive in your lifetime or upon your death, right? And you need to have people lined up to step in when you're no longer around. And that is something as a people, I think we don't often think about who is going to do this work after I'm gone, right? One, we don't want to think about that we won't be here, right? Yeah. But the truth is we're not going to be here after a certain time. So we've got to begin to think this way. And it's interesting that a lot of my clients that, let's say, are not of our community, constantly think about this. Constantly. If they're going on a trip and they think something may happen, they leave notes, call so-and-so for help, right? And we don't do that. We get in the car, we drive somewhere for a couple of days, we're vacationing, and what if something happens, right? What does the immediate family do? Who do they call? Who do they contact? And the people that we often spend time talking to, our friends, are not necessarily the people at that moment, right? They should be contacting. You know, the next door neighbor may not know what to do. They'll cry, but they don't know what to do next. Your sister or your brother, they'll be crying too, even harder, but they don't know what to do. They don't know what the bank accounts are. They don't know what the title to the house is. They don't know any of this stuff. And that's one of the big things this year. I said, I've got to help us put together all these necessary things, a list of who to contact in a case, not just of an emergency, but when I'm gone. Exactly. Someone gets that phone call. And so much of what we create in our lifetime is lost because there's no sort of carryover, right, to the next generation. And I work with a lot of families to make sure that's in place, because when that moment comes, no one is going to really have a clear mindset of what to do, right? So that's a great question, JB. We've got to put these things in writing. We have to let people know what they are. We have to list out what you want, your intention. You know, make sure the house is paid off. Make sure that my son goes to T-Swim. Make sure that my daughter is staying with Dr. Liddy. Make sure, you know, and sometimes I don't want to separate the family. It's only for a bit of time until the kids are settled. And some of them are taking care of parents, right? So what happens if you're not in the picture, but, you know, your parents need you? Who's going to look out for your parents? And these are all hard discussions.
It's also why some cultures have a bunch of kids.
It's true. This is true. This is true, right? There are certain communities that have, 7, 8 kids. Hopefully the kids know what to do. But that's one type of, future planning.
40s and was a widow in her 30s, and she worked 2 to 3 jobs, right? Like she was so focused on that, put forth the idea of hard work gets you places and it matters. She believed that doing things keeps you young. She was in her 70s and still an x-ray tech, and she would tell 60-year-olds, you're old because you act old. And so I think like that started it. My mom was also a powerhouse